Alright, so on the last episode of Dungeons and Dragons Ball Z, um, there was a little bit of hardship, I guess is the best word. After exploring the tunnels and coming to near death, the death of one party member, um, Ragnar, or no, Razdar.
What? Razdar.
Close, yeah, close. Ragnar was a
Not
different.
really.
Yikes! Yikes!
Razdar.
Remember his name.
And anyway, and almost the death of another. After that, it was Edmund and Makoso that made their way out of the tunnels with Felix. And there's a little bit of foreshadowing with Harold, which is Iceman's character that he introduced last session. So, after coming into this town, the town of Webb, you found it essentially destroyed. Found a survivor, Harold, and after the other intrepid adventurers, if you will, stumbled into town, you began to take some of them under your wing, try and essentially buff up the defenses, train these people as best you can. It seems that the vast majority of them have been slaughtered. There's perhaps about, I would say about 3 dozen or so civilians left in this village that wasn't terribly big to begin with, and many of them even are, the old and young. So, anyway, after you guys leveled up and are having this downtime in which we, are doing things, that's where we're going to leave off. So what I would like to do is I would like to go one by one and say, okay, what are we doing for this downtime? And then we're going to go ahead and roll a percentile dice to see how it goes. So essentially, the more things you do, the harder it is to do it successfully. It doesn't mean it's not like a pass-fail. It's like a degree of success, if you will. Like 100 would be like, we trained these people and they just picked it up and they are like soldiers in days. Where a 1 would be like they didn't get anything, but
Maybe some of them beat themselves to death somehow.
right.
Yikes!
All right, so I'm gonna start from left to right here based on the screen. So we're gonna go with Makoso first. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some tantalizing
Hello.
music.
I need to turn my volume on.
How much downtime is it, by the way? We said about a month?
Weeks?
You said you guys wanted to stay 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. Makosa is going to focus on drilling discipline into these people.
Okay.
Sheer combat skill is not going to be enough to save them.
Okay.
Oh, discipline will.
Okay. Please roll a percentile dice. And go ahead and add your charisma to that. So 23.
Is that good or bad?
Plus-
Is this roll low or high?
Plus it's roll high, but it's also plus your charisma for this.
Yo!
So I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. You'll have to check the modifiers. Looks like.
Jared, are you alive?
All right. Well, hold on. I'll look at his character sheet. See.
Probably a +2 or +3 if he's a paladin warlock.
Yeah, he's a 3, so that brings it up to 26.
Oh my god, I've been muting.
Okay, so 26.
I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I was trying to say that I accidentally closed Roll20, so I was reopening.
No
Not
problem.
only are you...
And then I was trying to talk, and I'm like, wait.
Not only are you staying muted, you're also muting yourself mid-sentence occasionally, and it's really disorienting.
Oh man, I'm doing real good.
All right, not a problem though. So we're gonna go on to Felix. So what are you doing in the downtime?
So I was gonna help out, having them come up with different traps and stuff, and just pointing out, I guess, areas where we could set those up.
Okay, go ahead and roll a percentile dice and add your intelligence modifier.
Ooh,
Okay,
Intelligence 3, so 95.
All right. Okay, Harold, what are you doing?
I'm helping out with some of the training, but I'm leaving that mostly to Mikoso.
Driver,
Yeah,
Grandma wants to know if you brought the garbage can down.
yes.
Yeah, he put it outside.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I leave most of the training to Mikoso, but I do that. And also, I kind of act as a provisioner for the village, where essentially I'm handling supplies, I'm making sure that people are fed, people are armed. I'm essentially keeping track of the supplies.
Okay, so go ahead and make 2 rolls. The first roll is going to be with your charisma. That's going to be to help train the troops.
Okay. 1d100. Alright, so 1d100, or 39 minus 1.
So 38, and that's for training.
You're better than me still, buddy. Don't worry.
Okay.
But essentially, I'm like, he's handling the discipline, so I'm trying to just train in raw combat capability. I'm essentially making sure that people's technique is on.
Okay. So then go ahead and make
Trying to.
Go ahead and make 1 more. You're doing like provisions and things like that, so I would say
Wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom is fine. Yeah,
Alright, so plus 3, so it's 8.
it's 8 for provisions.
But essentially, I'm trying to make sure that people have weapons, people are fed, just any basic necessities.
Okay. Did our main man Rick ever say what he wanted to do?
He's essentially said that he wants to do some scouting, check out the local area, and just he said he wanted to scout, basically.
Okay, so that would be kind of like a survival, yeah, which would be wisdom.
Which is wisdom, yeah.
So, his
He's a druid, though,
his
so he should
wisdom
be
is
good.
a 3. So somebody go ahead and roll a d100 for me, for him.
Not
do it.
me. I'm doomed.
Hey,
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
you can take the
we're
higher
gonna go
one.
with we're gonna go with the first one that was rolled, which was Harold.
Alright.
Shoot. Shouldn't have touched anything.
Doom.
Sorry, man. I didn't decide. So hold on.
It's alright.
So we have traps, training, traps and provisions, and then he is scouting. Okay. And so you pass the 2 weeks. Makoso, again, there are not many people here, and the people that are left here are beaten, they are broken, they are young and or old. There's not a lot to work with here, to be honest. It's not that you get nowhere, but they are not necessarily the stock that you would use to begin with. So shaping it into something worthwhile has proven difficult at best. Again, it's not that they've picked up nothing, they have learned some, it's just clearly not as much as you would like.
Some people are soldiers and some people aren't.
Makoso expects a little from the now folk.
So, while that's being done, Felix, just based after scouting out the area a little bit, you do a perimeter, and you begin to just, with spare parchment that you have, that some of the village has, and some charcoal, you begin drawing out some plans and some schematics of like where would people come if they were going to try and infiltrate? You ask the people, like, where do you remember them coming from, to try and see if you can find any hidden spots or pinch points or anything like that. And after reviewing that, you begin to essentially plug those holes. You put up with whatever provisions you have, makeshift traps. There are some where you have to like build a small reinforced wall to just clog up the area. And it's actually, considering what you have, a pretty damn good job. Something that everybody's pretty proud.
Too.
Many of the people come over and they're helping you out. Some of the people that are recovering, even the older folk, they're just doing things while, like, you're the mind. You know, you're doing the planning, and many of the other people are gathering. They're salvaging from old houses what they can to help reinforce some of these things and make some of these traps. It's kind of everybody involved, but it goes very well. Harold, unfortunately, the same thing with Makoso, of course. You guys are working together on this, but there's not much to work with. You do manage to teach some of the people some techniques, but nothing that would really hold up in a real battle. Perhaps in a small skirmish.
Yeah.
If things were just right in their favor, they know more than they did. But unfortunately, like I've said before, these aren't necessarily the cream of the crop.
Like, barely passable as levies at this point.
Yes, these are... to say new recruits would be perhaps a bit much. Even. But better than they were, surprisingly. As far as provisions, they're...
Which, essentially, you told me that they're...
Unfortunately, what had been abandoned and broken open from the battle that was here before, much of it has spoiled before you've had the chance to save it. For whatever reason, I'm trying to think of the word, but preserve it. Many of the sacks of oats and the things that they had just traded from Nusha, many of those things have been lost, both on the road to Nusha, where you guys found the provisions in the cart, but much of what was there has just been trampled, lost. People have, they were doing their own thing. It was like anarchy. They were grabbing sacks of whatever they could and running. So, with the scarce amount of provisions and just frankly, the number of mouths to feed and the difficulty of the surrounding area, morale is starting to get a little low. You can tell people they're trying to accept the help. They're trying to get pumped about it, but you can see there's kind of a gloss over the eyes a bit. A lot of talk has begun about, just why don't we just pack up and go to Nusha? While some of the older residents are like, no, this is our home, and a little bit of a conflict is starting to brew, a little bit of a split in the ranks, if you will.
But and the other side of that was just trying to arm people, get whatever simple armaments we can, get people with hammers and spears and maces in their hands, and make slings, bows from the woods surrounding, just whatever can.
Yeah, which, I mean, much of it, let's say, is, well, there aren't many hands. It's just, this is a small village. There is not a lot here. What smithy they had was very small and used to make just odd and end kind of stuff. The original smith isn't even here, so it's very difficult. Also in this region, their iron is very rare,
Mhm.
So you have to smelt like essentially copper, bronze, things like that. So which don't necessarily make the best weaponry.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well-
It's better than nothing, of course. It's
Yeah.
obviously a weapon, but this is not one of the towns large enough to really have any sort of steel or iron
Yeah.
equipment.
At the very least, I'm making sure that people have tools that can be used as weapons, like just the shittiest levy level.
Yeah. Some people have personal, like, they have to go out and do stuff. Some of them have small hammers or, at the bare least, like kitchen knives, kind of like.
Yeah.
But nothing that's. Not a lot that's worthwhile here.
Yeah.
Edmund, he makes some scouting runs, and he does manage to mark some game, some small game, but it only puts a minor dent in the rush for food here. And so that's kind of where we begin. All is essentially silent. This is the end of the 2 weeks. Actually, hold on here. Go ahead, Felix. Just straight up, just roll D100 for me, please.
Oh God.
I'm also gonna roll my portent for now too, just so I have those. And of course, they're mediocre.
11, 12.
Mediocre's good.
Okay, so 52. So one person decides to break rank and head to Nusha.
Coward.
Did Mikoso see him leave? Is the question.
He
Oh
left.
my goodness.
He left during the night.
Was he one of the able-bodied being trained?
Well, able-bodied
Because when
may
he
have
does,
been
when he doesn't,
a generous term.
well, was he supposed to be in training? Because when he doesn't show up, Mikoso is going to be very upset.
Yes, he was. He was one of the people training. There are not that many people. It's like you're pretty much trying to train people, like running drills. It's kind of like at a summer camp, and everybody had like there's so many spots, and then they go to the next thing, and then they go to the next thing. They're kind of doing that. They're like drills in the morning, and then circling around, and they're like helping with the traps, and they're breaking to try and go out and venture and see if they can scavenge any food and come back, run some more drills, and but yes, it is one of the few townsfolk. Like I said, there aren't many here. There's like 24 or so, many of which are again old or young.
Ugh, slackers. And then when Mikoso discovers that he is gone, he'll remind everyone that he is probably going to die on the road.
To which many people kind of like they like look away, or they look down, or they make some sort of gestures of like farewell.
Yeah, he could have at least been intelligent enough to go with the group.
So things seem to be looking bleak at best. So we'll say just because of how it happened. So this is you waking up. Everybody rises the next morning, discover that somebody is missing. There's no note or anything. So as of this point, somebody is missing. Nobody's.
Wait,
quite...
is this another someone?
No, this is the same someone.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to actually do this. Okay, cool.
So I'm just saying, like, we have to pick some spot to start, right?
Mhm.
So
Okay,
that's
cool.
where we're starting. Is essentially this comes to be, and nobody's you're not really entirely sure if like did he just go missing or did he. The
Mhm.
last person that saw him, he was, in his house, in his home.
Does he have a name?
He does. His name is. Hold on one second. Damn it, notebook. Why did I make so many scribbles?
Doodle. Hey, who invited that?
Elper. His name is Elper. Elper
Who
Milton.
invited Rick?
Oops, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
So you yeah. You discover that Elper Milton is missing.
Okay.
The last person who saw him was, like the night before, like multiple people had seen him.
I guess I want to go walk around and kind of start figuring out, I guess, his reasoning. Like, obviously, there are snake people coming, but I want to see if there's anything additional to that.
Yes, Oprah.
What?
What? Somebody in the chat said, I thought you said Oprah. Yeah, so sorry. Did you guys say something? I had to, get up because my
Yeah,
kid
I was
made
gonna-
thoughts.
I was gonna search around, kind of talk to some of the people, see if there was any other reasoning for him leaving other than being afraid of the snake people coming and killing him.
I won't
See if
make you.
there's anything
You don't have to make a roll or anything for it. It's fairly common knowledge. He was one of the people that was speaking out against. He was one of the original people that kind of said, "Why don't we just go to Nusha?" But he didn't want to leave because he didn't want to leave alone. So, take that as you will.
He left.
Perhaps he left. Nobody knows for sure, but that's kind of that's what people think is happening. They just assume that he went down to Nusha and he took it on himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I wouldn't hold it against. Well, I'm going to talk to Mikoso. I don't really hold it against him because we were trying to get them to leave in the first place. Will he make it? Who knows?
So what do you say to Mikoso?
I'm sorry?
So what do you say to Mikoso?
Oh, I was just saying, we were already telling everyone to leave anyway, so I'm not going to hold that. I can't talk. I'm not going to hold him leaving against him, but if he makes it, I guess we will see.
We've traveled these roads. We know the danger. He was foolish enough to go on his own. He was foolish enough to leave the group. What happens is on him.
Well, perhaps him leaving can maybe inspire others to leave, except in a group. We can lead them out of here. We can convince them.
And cede the land to the snakes.
Well, the training's not exactly going well.
Mikoso looks out and watches the villagers
Fumbling.
fail and fumble.
There's just two people saying there are sticks, and then there's just 3 unconscious people behind them who just beat themselves into a pulp.
You see a really large, somewhat portly, but mostly just kind of a large dude, and he's just swinging violently, and he's just every time he connects, you hear a brief, sorry. He bends down to.
Dalen, what did we tell you about that?
Never be sorry.
Right. No, sorry. You deserved it, right?
Okay.
I think we need to start planning our leave.
Could we assume that Harold is there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Harold just kind of looks at Felix and just goes, "Well, I think we've taught them all we really can. I think we can leave with a good conscience now. Conscience? That's the word. Just
Well,
wish we could have done more."
Perhaps we can let them know that we are leaving, and if there is anyone else that wants to go, they are free to come with us to Nusha.
That's reasonable.
Because that way, if there's anyone else that's concerned about ending up like the other guy that left, then at least they can have a little bit of protection.
Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage because the morale is getting pretty low.
Okay.
Probably like Makoso, but okay, Felix. That's not bad.
Okay. So yeah, it still takes a little bit to get some of the older, more traditional people to buy into it, to buy into the fact that it's what's best for them, and they begin to pack up, and there are some things that, like, there's still traps that are set here that are left intact. There are a couple of carts that people can use, varying sizes. Some are more like wheelbarrow than cart. But people begin packing up what precious belongings they have and prepare themselves for the treacherous 2-day journey to Nusha.
Mukoso, is there firewood around?
Yes.
Mukoso gathers firewood.
Okay. So you
Okay.
load it into one of the carts, be it the original one you had, or
No.
you're just going to carry
Absolutely
firewood?
not. No, Mukoso is going to set up firewood around the buildings.
Oh no.
Wait, aren't there still people living here?
Everyone's leaving.
Not everyone, I don't think.
Yeah. There's not that many people that are left here. It didn't take
I
that
thought
much
everyone was
to...
leaving.
Yes. That's what I'm saying, is there...
I'm not
As
setting
of
fire
right-
before everyone leaves.
Yeah, as of right now, like, there are not many people left. They have all decided to come with you. They have been convinced due to the situation and how poorly things are going.
It sounded like there was a bunch of old people left. I was thinking he was
No.
going to light them all up.
Makoso
No.
is just like throwing children into a bonfire.
I mean, if anyone wants to like stop Mukoso from torching the town,
That granny's on fire!
boo.
I mean, I understand why you're doing it, so I'm not gonna like
Do
stop you. Yeah, you're doing it so that the lizard people can't have it.
That's one reason. The other reason is so these people can't come back.
Well,
You don't look back, you look forward.
I'm not gonna see it that way.
Well,
I
it's
don't
both.
think anyone will except for him.
It's both.
Because nobody thinks like that.
What do you mean no one thinks like that?
You do, that's it.
So,
No one
as
said it.
they pack up, you begin stacking firewood precariously while all the villagers watch you. Like, what is he doing? Until several of them approach you. One of which is Derek. Hey, what are you up to?
Closing this chapter. Is that not what we are doing?
Right, you've convinced us to move along to Nusha. But what are you doing?
Ebb is at an end. Or you need nothing to turn your gaze backwards, and nothing to give to the enemy.
Well, we have some finely made traps here, but suggest you put the firewood down, mate.
This isn't gonna end well.
This is your town? Or rather, was your town?
Aye, it still is. All we need is a bit
And
of
when you walk
supplies.
away?
We need a bit of supplies. A bit of time to rest from Nusha. We'll be back.
Looking backwards, Makoso shakes his head and will walk away. He doesn't get it.
Makoso, maybe
He's not
lighting
gonna-
up the
he's not gonna
town
take
isn't
the,
the best option.
Then they'll look back.
Well, then they can make their own mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hold everyone's hand. You gotta let them make their own mistakes.
As Derek and side by side with Dalen brush past you, a couple of the younger folk brush past you. And he just says, kind of in passing, some people need to look back, mate. Not everyone can look forward.
Well, I guess that is why what the escort is for. The strong need to lead and to push.
He just kind of
You'll get there.
He kind of nods, and you hear the as like the all. Actually, I don't think they have livestock. It's only you. You have a. Don't you have a mule with your cart?
Mule.
Yeah, you have a mule with your cart,
Yes.
and then everybody else, like all the livestock, has been slaughtered or driven away or whatever. So it's just people. So it's like as they walk, I guess.
All right, and I suppose we travel out.
Yeah, you're certainly at a slow pace. So we're gonna go ahead and do 3 hexes a day. So we're gonna start with Edmund. Is from left to right the way that it shows on the bottom here. So Edmund, Makoso, Felix, Harold, and then reset.
Oh god.
So go ahead and move 1 space, and then roll a d6. We'll see what happens.
Alright. Yeah.
All right, next.
Oh god.
Watch we just get all 6s throughout the rest of the journey.
Ah!
You gotta move the thing too.
I did. I was rolling first.
Yeah.
Do I roll first or move first?
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Quit yelling at me!
I was not yelling, I was talking.
All right, next.
But, okay. Felix.
All right.
Hey.
And with that, that is about as far as you can get. So, as the road begins to slosh off, the sun has crested over. You can see many of the people are weary, except for the few that are in, we'll say, prime condition. The rest of them are absolutely beat from today. So it is decided it would probably be best to camp out here before it gets too much further into the swamp. It's like right where the road ends and it becomes truly nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I agree with that.
so you guys are taking watch. My
Mhm.
camera's lagging.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Me too.
I had my settings all set, and then I had to clear my cache and do all this stuff, whatever, and it
Like-
fucked up everything. That's why I don't have my overlay set up still because I'm been busy. But long story short, I haven't gone back to change my settings because I'm a d-bag.
Like
True.
webcams is just one of the most iffy pieces of equipment to ever use. Any webcam.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So
Brand or anything.
who's taking first watch?
Edmund.
All right.
Wait, isn't Edmund taking like all the watches?
Yeah.
I'm probably taking a watch.
I need an early one. I don't have dark vision.
We need people with perception.
Yeah. I just need to know who's doing what.
You know what? He's right about the dark vision, so I'll go last.
First watch.
So who's first watch?
I'll do it.
Because,
Me too.
Okay. So one of you go ahead and make a perception check.
I'll do it.
Aw.
And I am a human, so
Yep. So it would be disadvantage, but it's advantage because there's 2 people watching out. So it's
okay.
just a straight 12. So hold on.
Oh, so it doesn't. It really doesn't matter anyway with that roll.
Yay.
Okay. Oh, it's the wrong thing. Okay.
Before you can go to sleep, I convince everyone that, or I attempt to say, I'm probably not the best person to take watch, considering the recent events, our last encounters with the snake people.
Just for lack of wanting to run a million people,
Mhm.
we're just gonna do more of a theatrical thing. Theater of the mind, if you will.
Yay.
So, sorry, I'm a little off today. I'm busy. So, I'm gonna say that they get the jump on you. You are not able to spot them. So
They.
Yes. So, coming back into the swamp again, you're just bordering the place where it truly becomes the swamp, where it's the real muck and mire. You're right on the edge of the road, and by the time you see it, it's kind of already happening. It's too late. So, Makoso and Harold, you're watching out. You begin looking in the distance, like trying, like, oh, is there shifting happening? What's going on? You're looking out, trying to protect the weak here, and that's when you hear the first scream. You hear a young boy kind of screaming out. Actually, the one that you pushed earlier. He actually takes out kind of essentially, for a lack of a better term, we'll call it a staff, but it's kind of like an old, I'm trying to think. It's kind of like a hoe,
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
yeah. Anyway, so he takes that and he begins trying to beat what you know is a scourge off of him, but it just embeds itself in his clavicle and begins drawing from him. It's just this huge mosquito, and he's just kind of you see he's beginning to scream and kind of cry, and he's trying to rip it off, but the thing won't let go, and that's when you notice there is a swarm of these things, and many of the people who were asleep during the watch, of course, were just caught unawares as this large swarm of sturges just begins having its way with the people. There is just chaos as everybody begins to wake up, just draw what arms they can. People are lighting torches to try and bat these things away, but it's almost like a cloud of them.
Oh my goodness.
And with that, so what are you all doing? So Felix is not awake, correct? It's Makoso and Harold, and Edmund doesn't have to sleep, so he's in a meditation right now.
Yeah.
So Edmund, Makoso, and Harold, you can actually act right now.
Do I know where Felix is?
Yes, there are not that many people.
Probably.
I'm going to run and I'm going to try and get Felix up.
Yeah, you begin shaking him awake. Felix, you wake up to Harold shaking you vigorously with a kind of a worried expression on his face.
What in the hell?
Something's attacking. We did not see them. Move. Come on. And I pick him up by the arm and I drop him onto his feet because he's so small. And then I'm going to...
Like a
essentially-
rotund baby.
And I essentially run outside the tent, and the first swarm of anything that I see, I'm fucking sacred flaming them.
Yeah, so as you call up this this small pillar, as like again, there's quite a few of these things. So like maybe a half a dozen
Yeah.
of them, just like they like turn into ash, or like half their body like dissipates, and they slowly flutter to the ground and like motionless.
All right.
I'm alternating in between thorn whipping and producing flame. So I'm tossing little gouts of flame at them. The ones that are like right on people, I'm pulling them towards me with the thorn whip. Pulls them about 10 feet, just to kind of snatch them away from people so they can get away. So these thorny whips are just essentially snapping them out of the air like a chameleon tongue, just whoosh, 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 every.
Yeah, so you got
Every
kind of like
swap.
two hands going. You're like muttering incantations and like as they're bursting into flames, and then you're like as you like take a couple off. People are just like screaming, and at this point, now that everybody's up, some semblance of survival mode is just kicked in. Like people are just digging through their packs for anything they can find, and they're just attempting to swat these things off. They're swatting them off each other. They're doing everything that they can. So, yeah, what are you doing? We'll say Felix, like you're waking up. Makosa, what are you doing?
Makoso is going to. What's our fire situation looking like? Because I can't see in the dark.
You guys had like a small campfire going, because you were like doing watch, and obviously you're human. You do have torches, which by the way you used one before, so however many torches you have, take off one.
-1.
And
But
also,
Okay.
I believe the pack
also
comes with like
Felix
10 or something.
Yeah.
Edmund is throwing fire, and I'm using Sacred Flame, so that's also helping with the light situation.
A little bit. It doesn't create like it's like a burst of light. It's almost
Yeah.
like as if there was like a strobe light. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it does. It.
But
like
I can
you
see there's a
brief
giant
picture.
swarm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is something.
Yeah, you know
For
what's
a
going
human, it
on.
is something.
You can't
Okay.
really see past that light, the campfire. You may, if you wish to, you could light, take out a torch and like dip it and light it off the campfire, no problem. And do whatever.
Yeah. So I gotta light a torch so I can see the stupid swarm. So Makoso sticks a torch into the fire, so it'll catch, and he's gonna roar out to try to keep some semblance of order among the panicking peasants.
Okay, you begin trying to corral them and get them to
Yep.
essentially obey to form somewhat of a cohesive group in this strenuous situation.
I took a deep breath to roar, and then I coughed.
Yeah, you do that in game, and like one of the sturges,
Oh,
just like
God.
a baby one, just like goes like in your windpipe.
Oh no!
Yeah, they're like thick. They're like, when you go real deep in the forest, or like, I don't know if anybody here actually lives by a swamp, but when you go and there's just like you step and there's just a fucking swarm of insects, like mosquitoes. It's like that. Like they're like in your mouth. It's like nasty. They're all shapes and sizes. There's the huge ones, but then there's like small ones that must have just spawned or whatever. It's real gross. So you do that. You light the torch, and you can just see there's a fuckload of them. Some of them are just drawn to the light, begin like swirling around you and harassing you that much more. But yeah, you begin corralling the people together. So with that, I'm gonna have everybody go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Okay.
Am I trying to roll high or low?
I don't know.
I rolled high.
Alright. I don't know if that's
Okay.
good or bad.
So you take that much damage.
Yay!
Ah.
All right. So blah 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 blah.
I can take it.
That's what she said.
Okay. So, yeah. So you guys all lose that many hit points as everybody is just swarming. You can see several of the villagers, the ones that aren't the most, they don't have the most vitality, if you will, beginning to drop, and just swarms going over it of the smaller ones. So we're going to just start back up at the top. So Edmund, are you doing the same thing, or are you doing something different?
At this point, I stopped throwing the little flames, and I hold my hand up, and a scimitar made of flame shoots from my hand, and I start going in for close combat and just start cutting through the Sturgis with a flame blade.
Nice, as you... And you're just, defending people as you slice through them. They're just being incinerated or singed and, as they sizzle into the muck below.
I'm going to take a spell slot away for that.
All right. Mokoso, go ahead.
So I was corralling the people, so I assume
Yeah.
the ones that are dropping are near me.
The ones that are dropping are generally the weaker ones, but a lot of the ones that were more sturdy picked up a little more of the skill than the others. They're trying to be more of a cohesive group. They're trying to get into some semblance of a formation.
No, I was trying to say are the ones that were dropping. Am I able to help them? Am I?
Yeah, they're near enough to help.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Definitely gonna go over and try to clear the little swarms that are going on them with the torch. He seemed to like the torch. So waving it around, try to get their attention.
They don't
Okay.
like the heat, but they like the light.
Yeah, they like.
Whatever. Either the heat will scare them off, or they'll come over to the light. Whatever.
Yeah, many of the ones that are have not landed on warm-blooded, delicious humanoids are attracted. You're kind of swatting them away from several other people, which they kind of jump off for a second and then they go back on. You know what I mean? You do manage obviously to hit some of them that stay down, but. The majority of them are there's just so many of these things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? So you're swatting away at them, trying to get them off of these people.
Most of what I'm doing is trying to protect these people. That's all I got.
Okay. You can see, like I said, you can see several figures that one of them is older, one of them's a small child. Another one is just kind of a scrawny guy who's maybe in his mid-20s or early 30s. It's hard to tell, but
It's early. I
just
don't
kinda,
assume anyone's
face down. They're just face down in the muck with a fuckload of these things on them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're
I didn't realize
unmoving.
deathbed people.
Yeah, they were unmoving, face down. Being
Oh my
swarmed.
goodness.
Yes. Yeah, those are the few that are not doing so well. That is their situation.
I can only hit one person at a time. I grab the one who seems the most likely to not immediately just fall over again. So not someone who's old and frail. And I'm gonna channel a little lay on hands into them as I pull them to their feet.
Okay, so use 5 points to get them conscious.
Yo.
Okay,
Yo.
so you do so. You can either get the child. The boy is about perhaps 10, 11 years old. The other one is like I described before.
Is that the kid that I pushed?
No, this one is not the kid you pushed.
I mean, I probably pushed him at some point. I like pushing kids.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's not that many kids. You've pushed them all. But,
Yes.
So yes,
That's what
but
I like.
not that one.
Not-
Not the original, if you will.
The
Yeah.
OG.
Not the,
The
debut.
OG.
Not the debut child.
Yeah, the other one's an old frail guy. Nah, kid can make himself useful. Yeah, up you go.
Okay, you're right. He rises to his feet and he's just swatting these things. You manage to help get him off. he looks around kind of like worriedly, and he tries to pick up something from that he just has lying on the ground next to him. Again, he doesn't really have a good weapon per se. He's just kind of improvised weapons. He's rummaging through his pack to swat anything he can with what he has.
Makosa looks at him and says, "Don't let that happen again."
He doesn't really seem to pay much attention, not for a lack of just the situation in general. Like as soon as his eyes open, he's just like right back to like, oh, he's like freaking out. And...
Yeah, no, it's just a matter of responsibility.
Right. Okay, Felix, go ahead. So you take a minute. You are shaken awake, placed on your feet. You take a second to kind of like scan like what is going on right now, and now you know what's going on. So what are you doing?
All right. So my first reaction here, well, first plan of attack, I'm like, oh crap, there's a ton of these things. So I'm gonna use my mage armor, so I'm protected.
So
and then I'm just gonna start.
There's a couple that are clung to you already, and when you use the mage armor, you're like you channel and it's almost like a, I don't want to say a huge shockwave, but enough for like these insects to just be like, they're like repelled off of you. Many of them like into the muck. Some of them catch themselves and stabilize themselves.
Okay. And then I'm gonna start blasting some of the bigger ones that are attacking all of our people.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna yell out to everyone, "Run!" and kind of have I don't have anything. I guess follow us. We need to get out of here. And I'm gonna see if any of our other fellow friends are moving, because I'm not gonna be the one leading any kind of escape route.
Yeah, as soon as you say follow us, it's almost like a chain. Like people are like, ha. There's like the sounds of people just like in a frenzy, like trying to swat these off themselves and others, and it goes like a chain. Like, oh, follow the dwarf, ah, the gnome. They're just like follow the little one, like it's all sorts of different names that they call you, and that essentially what goes down the line, and. People begin to shift towards you. They're like running while swatting.
Okay. I'm going to be moving backwards until a party, or I guess everyone else kind of forms up towards me. But I'm going to be shooting fire bolts at all of the larger ones that I can at least hit while they're making their way towards me.
And I'll be following the opposite flow of the way that people are running and kind of making my way back and cutting the sturges down, trying to make it to the back of the train of people.
Yeah, so you're kind of guarding the flank while they go around, and then like into like the rear to like block behind them. Okay. Yep.
Oh, you're with me.
So Harold.
Yeah, so I'm assuming I ran past him at one point. Getting the idea from Makoso, I cast light on the knob of my mace, and essentially I'm looking for the rest of the group, and if there's anything in my way is getting demolished by that mace, and I'm also trying to keep as many of the sturges on me as possible with the now lit mace. Essentially attracting attention, smashing them, and if I see anybody who's hurt, maybe heal them, but like...
Yep.
The main goal right now is just to get around, and specifically to get wherever else anybody else is going.
So you cast light as you're like crunching through these things, and they begin to swarm around you even more as you kind of pull away, and people are beginning to shove past you. You see, at this point, there are two figures face down in the muck, covered in these creatures right now.
Okay.
Unmoving.
Does it look like they are beyond help?
Given the fact that you can't see, and you do have the light spell, but
Yes, it's part of the reason why I did it.
I'm gonna say go ahead and make a medicine check, but they're covered in these things to the point like you can barely see their body, just because there's so many of these things. It's hard to tell. You just know there's a bunch of these things. You're not even sure. You didn't see them fall. You don't know if they just fell. Perhaps they could have gotten pushed over from other people trampling them. You're not really sure. But you do
The
see
sturdy,
kind of two mounds where in the breaks in between these sturges, you can see like an elbow. You can see enough that you know it's humanoid figures
Yeah,
underneath.
the sturdiest person that I see within that group, I'm gonna give him a heal. Oh, okay. Wait, I need to cast him from attacks and spellcasting. I'm forgetting that. I'm going to give him a healing word. And I'm gonna continue running towards wherever I think the rest of the main party is.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and roll a d6. Harold and Makoso, you have lights on you. Go ahead and roll an additional d6, as there are more that are swarming towards you.
Sick.
Alright, and you take that much damage.
Yay.
Okay, so starting back. So, Edmund.
Let's see, I'd made my way to the back to flank and try to cut the swarm off and cut down what I could as we were moving. If there's anybody that's down that I can see, I'll throw a healing word at them as well as I'm still trying to cut through the sturges.
Yep, you can see there's one person about 10, perhaps 15 feet back from you. The one that was closer was just picked up by Harold. Kind of like the sturges are still attached, but the woman has regained consciousness and is like attempting to swat them off and essentially run towards you and rejoin the group.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll grab that person, healing word, clear the sturges myself with my flame blade, and try to get them back to the group.
Okay, you do so, and you can see this person wasn't very well dressed before, and you can just see what look to be a million puncture wounds that are just raised, and a couple of them that are larger are like oozing. They're seeping like this viscous white fluid. Just not very good looking, to say the least. But he runs past, thankful, and rejoins the group.
Okay.
So, Makoso. So you see this as Edmund goes through, and he cuts through some of them, picks someone up, and yeah, it's kind of where you are, because you guys are all at the back, right?
Yeah, no, I'm at the back.
I think that's where Felix is going. So
Okay.
Well, I'm probably not.
So Edmund picked up one, right?
Yeah. So at this point, there is nobody that's unconscious right now.
Okay. Oh, I thought I miscounted.
Harold,
I mean,
there,
I guess
there
I
were
miscounted.
3. You picked up one. Harold picked up one. Edmund picked up one.
Oh, right. Harold picked up one. Okay. Yeah, I'm just keeping up the flank, smacking down Sturges. Like I said, someone needs to lead and someone needs to push. And then the rest of them are just getting corralled.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So Felix, your go. So as Makoso, you can see he's just beginning to just ream on these creatures. You can see their numbers are starting to dwindle at this point.
I think I'm just gonna keep leading the party forward, and whatever Sturge kind of come in the way, blast them with a firebolt. Every once in a while, turn around, hit some of them that are kind of attacking into the group, launch some more firebolts at them.
Okay. So as you getting like big chunks of them that they like explode and rain down like. All right, Harold, your go.
essentially, I'm assuming that I'm kind of grouped up with the others now. At this point, I've caught up.
Yes.
Essentially, I'm doing basically what Makoso and Felix are doing. I'm closing ranks with them, and I got a mace in one hand and shield and my holy symbol in the other, and I'm just sacred flaming anything that gets close. If it gets too close, it's getting squished with a mace.
Okay.
specifically like sacred flaming at the most dense groups I can see, trying to take out a bunch of them at the same time.
Yeah. So you wait till like a cluster forms and you call up a pillar. Yeah, quite a few of them managed to escape, but like around. But you can see at this point, like as opposed to a cloud, it's definitely the numbers have dwindled quite a bit. But as you're continuing to decrease their ranks, we're all going to go ahead and roll a d6 again.
Is it 2d6 for me and Mikoso, or
Correct. Yeah.
okay? Hey,
Oh, another button on the head. Go back.
First 6.
Ooh, good.
Mikoso. He just said in the Discord 1 minute. 1 minute.
I'll roll for him.
He did.
Ooh, he's 10.
Jeez. Well, he's probably fine.
We have time. We have time to heal ourselves, right,
I mean, I don't.
Dylan?
Yeah.
I'm saving all my spells in case I need to do any last minute surgery.
Well, I mean, it would be a part of your like next.
Yeah.
Because it's like theater of the mind, but yes, we'll say it like as a part of
Okay.
your like next sort of action, you use that on yourself.
Cool. I'm gonna mark them. Make sure I'm marking everything. Just so I know it's done. Okay, cool.
All right. So, with that, I'm just gonna say because I was just gonna do X amount of rounds. So, with this, using the light between Makosa's torch and Herald's spell, they begin to coalesce for the most part and swarm you as you continue to just knock at their ranks. Many of these insects just falling to the point where they are cut almost completely, begin to withdraw, scatter out back into the swamp. You look back, and essentially all the villagers have like run past you, behind you, to get away from these things, while you were guarding the back and doing that business. You look back, and you can see there's one individual that is just, he's like on his side, not breathing. There's a bunch of these puncture wounds. At first it looks like people are beating up their own, but you can see they've tried to swat off what ones were there. But upon further inspection, it is an older gentleman that has expired. And even then, you notice, because of where they've traveled and seeped into the muck, you turn them over and there's some large-looking, what you first think are slugs, and before realizing that they are, yes, larvae of whatever sort of creatures, that they've been almost injected into the flesh halfway. They're kind of like writhing around.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a small sacred flame
That's
to
gross.
just eradicate those things as, you know, as gently to the body as possible.
Yeah. So you do like more, like you try and shift it and control it as much as possible. You burn away, and there's just this sickly kind of like popping noises as these egg sacs burst open, and they ooze like this weird, just gross, like ambiotic fluid almost, and wilt away or burn away.
Mm-hmm. And as I'm doing that, I kind of take a closer look. I'm assuming that this is because there's eggs in this guy, that he's beyond any kind of healing.
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Nope.
Okay. It's hard to tell at this point. You're not sure, but he definitely looks critical, if not dead.
Hold on a second. Let me see
Is
something.
there a pulse?
Uh,
You can't. You don't find a pulse. No.
Well, I'm
But
just gonna.
there's still warmth to him. But it's hard. Like if he died, it was like however long battle takes. You know what I mean? It's like seconds, or minutes. So.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just because of the situation, you just have to set up a camp, or you'd have to find a spot where you can really evaluate this person.
Yeah. But just in the moment.
Yep.
Whatever the closest 6 people are to me, including the person that's on the ground, whether they're dead or not, I am going to do a prayer of healing. And I
Okay.
essentially say, "Oh, Father, bolster our strength."
And I don't remember exactly what Prayer of Healing does. It's not 22 to everyone, right? It's divided among all the people.
I think so. Hold on. Let me look. I just read it and I thought that's what it was. But even if it's not... Okay, hold on.
I think it's like a pool, and nobody can go above
hold on.
half hit
Hold on.
points.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the channel divinity.
Yep. Up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range each gain hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. And
Nice.
then, because of Disciple of Life, I get a little bit even more heals on that. I get like 4 extra points.
But it's like
Nice.
10 minutes to cast it, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I had it prepared. I'll check that right now. But even if it does take like 10 minutes to cast, I'm still doing it.
Okay. no
Cool.
problem.
Yeah, 10 minutes to cast.
Yep. 10 minutes. There you go. Okie dokie. So yeah, so you do so.
Probably don't save the guy on the ground, but at least just trying to heal up everyone around me.
Unfortunately, he is deceased. He does not appear to react to the healing. Whether it is
Yeah,
because of the
and-
10-minute delay or because he was already deceased is hard to tell.
So I'm going to use that prayer of healing. I'm going to say that everyone in the party who is alive, obviously, and
Hey, that's me.
everybody in the main party, and then myself, and then one other person. The 2 other people is what I'm doing it on.
Yeah, so you 4, the guy that's on the ground, and then one other person who's
One
kind
other
of bad
person.
off.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So we each get that?
Yup.
Dang! Wow.
We all get topped off.
I think that's something that I'm only gonna ever be able to do once per day, because that's a rough spell to prepare.
All right. So with that, many of the people here are. Sorry, I forgot to do this. This is my bad. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, everybody.
I'm
Oh
good with
god,
those.
what's happening?
Surges.
Oh
I'm not good
no.
with
Yay!
Okay, so Makoso, you pass. Okay,
Yay!
that's good. Good to know.
And everyone else fails.
Game level of exhaustion.
Die.
Something.
No, who knows?
You have sturge eggs in you.
I'm just making a note of it.
All right.
That's what we like to hear.
Okay.
Same.
So, many of you, again, you all have like these nasty puncture wounds that are oozing various degrees of blood and this kind of like gross white fluid that you can assume is like the numbing agent or whatever. And like they're starting to get itchy and gross. They're just everybody has them. The amount of insects, sturges that were there, it was impossible to not get bit. So they're just in nasty, uncomfortable spots. People are kind of split. Some of them think this would be like they should just hole up for the night, just and keep better watch. Some think it would be wise to just push on and get to Nusha as quickly as possible. It is still in the middle of the night, but this is kind of like everybody's awake now, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?"
I think we should push for a little bit longer, maybe not all night.
We're
But-
going to need our strength if we're going to make the journey, especially going for the actual swamp.
But if we
I don't
stop
think these
right
people-
here, if we stop right here, what's going to keep those things from coming back?
That's a very good point. I say out of
Edmund?
character.
Edmund,
What's that? In character?
this is your swamp.
What was the question?
Should we hole up here, or travel a little further? It's the middle of the night.
I mean, we should probably move a little further. Oh, in character. We should probably move a little further. Get away from. Yeah, I wave it like the dead. The dead Sturgis. But
and the dead body.
yeah. So I guess I would try to travel one more space, then rest. And I'll lead them
I like it.
through the swamp, even at night.
Okay.
Mukoso stretches a little.
And actually, when we get a second to, start packing up our stuff and start moving, I'm going to go over to the dead body, and anybody who's around clearly sees this. He's not trying to, he wants to make a display of it. Harold unlatches the rune on his amulet and holds it into the palm of his hand. And he places the palm of his hand onto the man's chest. He lays him out face up, and he says, "You are dismissed." And that's all he does.
Is the corpse bleeding any?
I
Imagine-
mean,
Or did it like it? I don't know if it got like if the wounds like suture up or if they clog or anything. I don't know
yeah.
how
Clog.
Sturgis kill or anything.
So, there was no. Just because you're already from here anyway, it seems reasonable for you to know. There's no real agent that coagulates blood. If anything, they don't want that because they want to
That's the
Yeah.
word. I was thinking.
take your blood. The corpse, again, there's like trails of blood leading off these puncture wounds, but the body has been sucked dry fairly well, if you will.
Okay,
And
So
actually,
it's not just pooling out.
did
gotcha.
this person carry any kind of weapon?
You can see the person has like a hunting knife.
I'm going to take his knife and I'm going to place it into the palm of his hand and close his fist onto it.
Okay.
And then I leave. I regroup with the party.
Okay, you put
With
your
a
fingers.
knife?
You do that. You put your fingers over the eyes that seem very like sunken into the face.
Yeah.
The skin is almost taut against the bone, and you kind of leave him there to hopefully carry on to the next world.
Carry on my wayward son. There be peace when you.
So you put
are
a knife in his
done.
hand?
Yes.
Lay your weary head to rest.
It's a little late.
Don't you cry no more. Okay.
Wait,
Oh.
you were saying you said it's a little late for what?
Shan-
Hello?
What?
Hi.
You said it's a little late.
It's a little late, but he might get his chance at Valhalla. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Mukoso observes you leaving the weapon with him.
Also, it's his knife. I'm not giving him.
Oh,
my
it's his knife.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were giving him a knife.
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you look over.
Doesn't
You
make
see
sense.
he searches around while he's doing his ritual that he's doing, and he pulls out what looks to be kind of like a side hip kind of sheath, and it looks to be a hunting blade, and he puts it in his fingers as he's doing this ritual that he's doing.
Okay, but it was like the man's knife.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
It doesn't really count if it's not a weapon that they wield. So
Yo. I was gonna say it just Mukoso's people have
yeah.
a weapon exchange custom, so it was gonna be interesting. Make a good impression. You might get to participate.
Cool.
All right. So Edmund, you would like to lead them? You're gonna try and push on.
I will lead them to the promised land.
I
Yeah.
will help because my survival is not terrible.
Okay, Edmund,
Wait,
go
what
ahead.
now?
Go ahead and move a hex and roll a d6. I'm also gonna have you
Oh God.
roll a survival check with advantage because you know the swamp.
And also, I'm helping him.
My swamp.
Double advantage.
You're not much help, honestly. Like you don't know the
Yeah.
swamp, and you can't see in the dark.
Yeah.
It's not really much of an assistance.
Moral support.
Uh,
What did you do?
Okay,
Alright.
I did what I do best.
Cue the armored Alvarez riding trolls. That's what it was.
I did what I do
we'll
best.
see. We'll see.
Hey.
Why is this a banner troll?
Hey. You try and take them past the route you took, but you happen to notice at some point you're like, I don't think we're quite where we thought we would be. And hold on one second.
We see familiar surroundings. We realize we went a mile backwards.
Okay, so
Area, so remember.
all right.
Oh, we're almost by.
So, you recognize this. The reason why you figure out why you're off course is because at some point you, in the middle of the night, have instinctually gone an old route back to your house. You recognize some of the foliage, some of the remnants of trail before you catch yourself going back into those old habits. But in the midst of that,
Shit.
you do notice there are some disturbances of some of the trees, like the bark's been stripped off. You see some signs of perhaps I don't want to say struggle, but some sort of large creatures, animals. You're not quite sure, and you can hear off in the distance some crunching and shifting noises as you kind of like shh, 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 and everybody begins to lay low. Many of them are like looking around wide-eyed.
Shit.
Uh,
Draw my bow.
Who has light at this point?
I can cast light.
Dark vision.
I mean, he has
we've been
dark
trapped.
vision. He has dark vision, but like nobody else does. So either you're doing like a convoy with no light and holding hands or something like that, or you have some lights to help guide.
I had a torch.
Okay.
It depends. If somebody tells me not to have light, then I'm not having light. But otherwise, I probably have light casted on something.
I'm going to let you make the choice. I'm just saying, like, think about it realistically. Would you have had light, considering most people don't see in the dark when you're traveling?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
I would think
Yes.
probably.
All of it would have been behind me though, so that it didn't
Yeah.
interfere with my dark vision. So
I probably have light on my mace or my shield. Probably my mace.
So you see and hear some of these signs. What do you do?
I draw my bow, turn to the caravan and kind of tell them to get ready. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna use Mask of the Wild and attempt to hide in like the foliage and
Ooh, what else?
the natural just kind of phenomena around us
Okay.
with my bow drawn.
So somebody just make a straight up d20 roll for me as they all attempt to hide, and then you guys can all make normal stealth checks for your character.
Hey.
Okay, they actually, just considering they are also from the swamp,
Mm-hmm.
they find a way to
Swamp.
blend in.
All right,
Everybody
I
else, go
have
ahead and make a stealth check.
I have disadvantage because of my armor.
Okay.
Same.
Just can't roll.
Same.
Oh no.
The two heavy armor boys.
I will say,
Despair.
however, that Makoso or Felix does have his mediocre things.
Important. I imagine that me and Makoso just simultaneously trip and fall.
We bump into each other.
I'm just
I
like,
don't think I'm gonna use my
Clang clang.
important things at this time.
It's fine.
I just
Okay.
disappear.
So,
Clang clang.
yeah, essentially, there's a small boulder that's kind of like right on the edge of a small grouping of trees that you guys both go in at the same time. Like you're like, oh, this is a good place to hide. You know what I mean? But just because it's dark, everybody's trying to lay low quickly because you're not sure what's going on. As you both kind of bump into each other and clatter kind of against this small boulder, and your greaves and knee paddings, if you will, the armor of that begins to clank together, and it just echoes through that night outwards.
Harold just kind of looks Makoso directly into the eyes and just goes, "We might want to react."
And with that, Edmund, I'm going to say only Edmund because he picked up on signs and blah, blah, blah. He was leading the charge.
Mhm.
You hear this, the crackling and the noises of movement just immediately stop. You look around. 1 second goes by. 2 seconds go by. There's nothing. There's no sound.
I hear it stop.
Yeah, it's kind of like something was shifting. You heard it, and in that second you turned, and all this happened. You're like shh, and you guys all begin to hide, and it's almost like it stopped. Like as soon as it heard noise, it just immediately.
All right, I'm gonna. Does anybody? Do I notice if any of the townspeople or anybody or whatever have? Does anybody else have weapons?
You knew that some of them had makeshift weapons. Some of them, their weapons were not that great.
And I can shoot things with fire.
The bows, sharp. Anybody that does have a long range weapon now.
Yeah, there
Get-
are several people that have long range weapons because I can't remember exactly how many bows. You guys will know how many bows you give away, but one person has a short bow from you, Edmund, and then I think there's 2 others that have a long bow from Makoso.
Mhm.
Did any show an ability to use them?
No more
Then, yeah,
than
there's
no
2
more than
longbows.
I was gonna say no more than the other weapons. You know.
Yeah.
If I was at all successful, some might have slings.
Well, I whisper to anybody that has a long range weapon to kind of get ready and focus their aim for anything that steps out of those woods. You see it step out, release.
Because we just made an ass ton of noise,
And
I'm
spell.
essentially trying to keep me and Makoso in a clearing with good visibility, and I'm essentially just keeping watch around us. I don't want anything sneaking up on us. I have a feeling that something's coming for us specifically.
Okay.
We just rung the dinner bell, so
Literally.
And then I wait. Knock an arrow and wait.
Makoso's fine being bait.
Carry on.
so am I.
Okay. So, I'm gonna make a roll for it real quick. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
Make a roll to decide whether or not we instantly die.
Yeah.
Basically.
You just
You don't-
explode.
You don't want to instantly die. Nobody wants to instantly die.
The beholder uses its disintegration ray.
Crit.
Plus, it's oh my god. Okay, yeah. I'm so happy for you guys. Oh my god, I was like, are they all gonna die? Okay, so, all right.
Felix
Okay.
gets one-shotted.
I'm so happy that you guys lived.
Right.
That's how I heard it.
So you notice again, Edmund. So as this creature, it's not making any noise, but because you have your dark vision, you already knew something was there. You see something faintly. It's large. It's very large. It looks to be a giant humanoid figure. It's covered in all sorts of various like furs and what you can assume is sewn together flesh. There's like lots of little humanoid-sized skulls on it, and it's actually wielding what looks to be almost like a signpost, or something. It's like a makeshift club made from something that looks to be, made that it just like ripped rot from the earth and just fucking began beating people. It looks to be. Go ahead and make a. Even though you're from the region, go ahead and make a. What the fuck would I even call this roll? Just make like a general.
Nature?
It's not really nature.
I
Just
don't
go ahead
have
and make a
nature.
general wisdom check. Just like general wisdom check. To see if you've heard of these things. Unfortunately, you haven't. But it looks to be a two-headed giant humanoid creature that's lurking about that is surprisingly stealthy.
I've heard of that.
And were you not so well hidden, you probably would have missed the two others that were silently following along about 20 feet back from it. But they all pass. They appear to be, and they're searching around. They look right past where you are and beyond it. And like you see it point
How big we talking there?
like fairly large. Like when I say giant, meaning like giant humanoids. I have to look it up exactly how high they are. Hold on.
Okay.
I believe they're like 12 or 14 feet.
Okay.
Woohoo! And you said there's how many?
3.
That's what I like to hear.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said that there was a giant humanoid, I was gonna like, Rick, are you getting attacked by a troll again?
No, because this guy can actually hide.
Yes.
Throm would not. He'd call out,
Yeah.
Okay.
"Come,
So yeah,
fight
they-
the Throm."
as they begin to work their way into the muck, they go beyond, appearing to go northwards towards the direction of Wib. Now that you have your bearings, that is, you can tell that's the direction they are headed,
Which direction? Sorry, I didn't hear.
towards Web, which is northward.
Oh,
That's the town you came.
okay, gotcha. I'm not gonna attack. I'm gonna stay still until they walk away.
Yeah, and you can see like people are like covering mouths of other ones, and they're like trying to stay as still as possible. Everyone is just like shuddering from fear and cold and malnourishment.
I imagine Harold and Makoso are just like clutching their mail, just like, "Fuck, don't make any noise. Stop it."
We're pulling a Jurassic Park.
Yeah, this was
Let it
like
pass.
the luck of the gods was on your side.
Was that like a natural one?
It was a natural
perception?
one for their perception. I'm just like, I was trying to find the button for it, and I'm just like, I'll just roll it and then I'll add their modifier, and that's what it is. And I'm like, oh my god, so happy for you guys. So yeah, so you guys wait with fucking hearts pounding like in your chest. 5-10 minutes. Some people are kind of like they're like looking around like, is it safe to come out yet? Before finally, at some point,
Yeah.
you all kind of know that they're gone. It's safe. Enough time has passed.
Okay. Come out, hurry.
All right.
At this point, we're not gonna rest. I'm gonna take the time to actually move them one other square and head to the hut that I know is there.
Okay. So you do so.
Regrettably.
Move so.
Regrettably.
I will say, just again, somebody else, Makoso, go ahead and roll the d6, but
Don't put this on my head.
I'm not going to make you roll a survival check just because the way things played out and you know this route. So,
Don't put this on my head.
Hey,
no,
just so you
no
know,
issues.
sixes are bad.
Fucking Rick.
While you see
Yeah, we got out of it.
some more signs of damage, like tree bark and whatever, you can see there's like an open carcass of like 3/4 eaten crocodile. You could perhaps allude to what happened to it.
A leopard ate it.
Yet, the hut seems to be safe. It's still well guarded. There appears to be no damage here except for... I don't know if you want to DM me or whatever, because I wasn't planning on you coming here, but I'm not sure if anybody's here or not, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I'd say
Oh no.
it's not abandoned. I left, but my family didn't. So
Okay.
no, I don't mind. Yeah, no, if I don't know how you want to play it. If you want people to be there, I have parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, uncles, nephews. They're not all in this house here, but
So go ahead. And describe it to us, how it looks from the outside. At this point, in the evening, if you at night, it is dead quiet. There's nothing but sounds of the swamp. There are no lights. Everything is, we'll say, for lack of a better term, dead.
shoot, I'm making up. I gotta make it up off the top of my head. But it's fine. So, kind of in front of us, and actually is what is a clearing actually, which is from walking through the swamp. It's kind of odd to have a solid ground clearing in front of, and surrounded by swamp, but it's solid ground. With a decently built house on it. Of course, obviously, the builders were druids, so they can create the ground and create good wood to build stuff from, and stone, create stone, stuff like that. So, a pretty solidly built wooden stone house with a bit of some thatch roofing going on. Looks 1.5, 2 stories. It looks, and I'm trying to see how to put it. It looks both well kept and run down. So by run down, I mean in the sense that it kind of looks like they want it to look run down for some reason or whatever, but you can tell that it's a well kept, sturdy building if you know what to look for. So you may or may not notice. So to some people, it may look like just a run down big building. To other people, if they know what to look for, they can see that their rundownness was kind of on purpose. So,
like purposeful low maintenance.
say again.
Like purposeful low maintenance.
Essentially, yeah. So that's what the house looks like. Like I said, the land is it's kind of a clearing, dry ground, it's just dirt and grass. It's not wet or swampy. It's a bit of an open area with little, I guess, tidbits and outbuildings here or there, kind of spread. Maybe some lines with some stuff hanging and drying, like alligator skin or leopard skin or some shit like that. Usual like hunter tanner type of stuff.
Yeah, there's
Trade.
some various herbs that have been left to dry, as well as skins. There's some meat that is curing on a rack as well. All that happy stuff.
Yeah, and above, like the trees, like there's no trees in the area, so you can actually see the night sky as opposed to the rest of the swamp where the trees are kind of enclosed and everything, and it's kind of an open area. So may even have a little moonlight coming through. I don't know if it's cloudy or not, but so
coming up,
what you see?
Coming up and out of the swampy terrain into solid ground is welcome. Many of the people they just lie there on the solid ground for a minute and kind of get their bearings and just kind of sigh like relief from all the tension now kind of being relieved. One of Derek that you recognize, Edmund, comes up and what do you know about this place?
Evan just kind of leans his head towards him, just kind of give him a side eye. I fucking grew up here. I did not ever want to come back.
Why not?
But
she's a beauty. Why not?
Yeah, he looks around. It's a beautiful sky, beautiful ground, beautiful building, but it's a bit oppressive. You know?
Right.
When you come back to a place that you felt was a prison, and you finally get away and have to come back again.
Right, well, no worse than the rest of this prison, eh? And he just like gestures out to the swamp.
Yeah, fuck the swamp. It sucks. That's why I left. But yeah, it's safety for now. I can say that. I may hate it, but there's no safer place in this swamp than here.
With that, he goes in for like the hug, or like all the way around the back. He's like giving you the back pat, like.
It's like I go rigid and straight, like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, the swamp folk are very open and warm people, especially under different circumstances.
Gotcha. Yes, well, okay. Let me go knock. Let them know we're not here, so you all don't get struck by lightning, or mauled by a bear, or strangled by vines. I'm walking away as I'm saying this all the way they could possibly get killed.
Right.
Buried up to your neck in quicksand.
Harold is going to kind of approach with Edmund, and as they're walking up, he just kind of looks at him and goes, I have not had a home in a very long time, and also, never been in the swamp. These are foreign lands to me. You look like you belong. It seems natural to you.
You do not know me well, so I'll let you get away with that this time.
You ever seen a blizzard?
I look around at the swamp, and in my head, imagining the desert around us.
Like you've heard of a blizzard in passing. Yeah. Like it's almost like foreign. Like if you weren't so well educated from all the travelers that come to hold on, I'm drawing a blank here. Mod. All the travelers that come from Mod, you probably wouldn't even know what a blizzard is.
Yeah. Heard of them, but obviously we're in the desert, so
that's one of the trademark weathers of where I come from.
Good for you.
So you approach up the
Mhm.
steps. I'm imagining like an old plantation house.
That's actually pretty close to what I was imagining in my head.
Like,
Like the wraparound porch with
yep.
the rocking chairs on the front and the screen
Yeah.
door.
I'm imagining like what
Yep.
is it, like the Scooby Doo movie from a fucking with all the zombies in it,
Yep.
like
Yep.
that
I know the one you're
house.
talking.
Anyway, so
Except it's like made of stone and wood instead.
yeah,
But
yeah, but similar theme.
yeah.
All right, so you go up, and there is a tarnished old bronze knocker. The door is, again, just the surface of it does not look that well kept, but as you approach further, you see that it's more like it's been stained to look that way, but it is actually very much intact.
Mhm. Here we go. As I grab the bronze knocker and 3 times.
A few moments go by. You all see a small lantern going on upstairs and a scuffling. Somebody coming down the stairs. Who is it?
Is this my mother? I'll say it's my mother. Is that about right?
Yeah.
It is me, Mama. Said. I forgot my name. Edmund. Yes, I forgot my name for a second.
And you hear kind of like it's not like an outward sound necessarily, it's just like the my boy, and the door flings open, and that is where we're gonna take a break.
Edmund's
So-
backstory.
Homecoming.
Yeah, let's go
Oh.
ahead and take we're gonna take a 15-minute break. We'll reconvene here at 10 o'clock.
Cool.
All right, see ya then, homies.
Yay.
Hey,
Sweet.
one thing is I wonder, because I didn't do this with my backstory, because we're in the middle of fuck all nowhere compared to where I'm from. Do you even have like names for these people?
I do and don't. Because I actually did. I actually, unlike most of my backstories, actually wrote out
Yeah.
I wrote out a bit of my backstory, why I left, kind of my goals, that type of deal. But names and stuff, like I set up already that my family lives here, lives in the swamp, has been here for centuries because we're elves. So has been here for centuries, and I do have relatives and family around here. So
This is probably, for me, like the most useless character backstory I've ever created, because all of the details just do not matter here.
I mean, you know,
They all add up to who your character is.
Yeah,
yeah.
which essentially Harold is painfully optimistic given all the shit that he has been through. He should be dead. By every human standard, he should be dead.
Well, the night's not over yet.
So who'd you sell your soul to?
No, that hasn't happened yet. But
Oh, got some pecans.
he
So
has seen, he has seen the
Pecan.
downfall of at least 2 full civilizations. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so civilizations tend to fall over like
Yeah,
many years. Right?
well,
yeah.
I've seen what led to the downfall of at least 2 civilizations.
Except Rome.
Huh.
Rome fell kind of quick.
You know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
But it only took
It's-
2 generations to destroy it. Just saying, that's the truth.
Rome wasn't built in an egg, you know? That's like my favorite saying.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No,
What is
Rome
that?
wasn't built in an egg.
For the love of
Rome
heavy
wasn't
breathing,
built in an egg.
pecans.
It was-
Silence.
Was it a saint? What? Oh, sorry.
Rick!
They're so good.
Rick, chew louder.
They're so good.
We
I
gotta
love the
scare
sound
off
of you
our 4
masticating.
viewers.
I
I'm
love
one
the
of
sound of you masticating, Rick.
Just. It's so good.
We just really need
Yes.
you in the Discord where you're driving and eating at the same time and playing D&D.
Dylan, do you have like your 18 plus warning on for your Twitch?
I don't know.
Because
I
like
hope
the
so.
sounds Rick is making right now.
These pecans. So good. I'm done. Okay.
I need an adult.
Also, I like how Rick's eating voice is basically from.
My mind's telling me no, but my mouth is telling me yes.
But my pecans are telling me yes.
Right.
Uh,
Why are we
Oh.
breaking again?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
yeah, we're breaking.
Yeah,
I'll be
I
right
was
back.
I was trying to send me stuff if you have stuff before I
The Martha.
make up
I
your
sent
whole
you
family.
stuff.
Oh, me?
I don't care
Oh.
about your stuff.
Oh, I don't have shit.
Good, me
We
neither.
can talk about it right now, though. I don't have shit set up. I was not expecting this.
I wasn't either.
That's what you get.
Do you want to make it up or do you want me to make it up? It's up to you.
we can brainstorm right now.
But you can go over the
Um,
basics. Like
You
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll go over the
like
basics.
I can come up with the intimate details. Do you hold on here?
Everyone's named
Shutting off
Bob.
my
Conrad. I'm looking at the fan art. Half naked Martha.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna go drink some cough syrup. I'll be right.
All right. Marquette. So
That too.
say that fucker wild. Oh, sorry.
Rick, did you hear what I said?
All right.
Huh? Yeah, what? No.
No, he didn't hear what we said at all. We joined after that.
Good.
No, sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, that was good. It was a good talk that nobody heard anything about. I even shut off the stuff so the people watching can't. You know the good stuff.
So there's like 5 minutes of silence.
Yeah. Whatever. While they're all like going to the bathroom
Goddamn.
and getting a drink or whatever. Oh shit! I didn't get a drink. Hey, give me one more second to get a drink, and then
I got a drink, and
Alright.
it was.
I can't.
cough
Otherwise,
syrup.
I get like cotton mouth. I'm like, water.
All right, you
What
got
is
Like
one,
for
SpongeBob
quitters?
on that
Yeah,
one
what is
episode.
for quitters,
Yeah.
man?
all right, you got 1 second starting now.
Pinky! Pinky! Until this day, I drink on my pinky up.
Jeez.
You know,
When in doubt.
I'm constantly drinking, and I still can't talk. So, also that doesn't mean I'm not constantly drinking alcohol, because that would just make it worse. I'm just
I
constantly
mean,
drinking.
it would make sense. It would make sense. Of course, Wilder's
Dwarf.
always drunk. It makes sense. No, I'm just kidding.
Just get halfway
All
into a sentence and then blank.
So,
Mhm.
you, as you slam the knocker down, there's some scuttling sounds. As you see a light from under the doorway in the crease. There's a quick exchange before the door swings open, and you look into the actually quite fair face of like an older elvish woman with very like slender sort of like a soft jawline, kind of a larger nose, but like very delicate features, if you will. Long graying hair, meaning she must be terribly old for anybody that knows things about what the hell is with the heavy breathing.
Oh,
I'm getting so excited over this old, over my make-believe mom.
I'm uncomfortable. I need an adult.
Go ahead.
So, anyway, sorry.
Where's my
I got off
adult?
track. So, anyway, she opens the door and she kind of like wide-eyed. Eddie, is that you? And she goes into a hug. She like completely disregards the gentleman that's next to her, next to Eddie, and just like goes in for a hug. Oh, son, how have you been? You must. It's been. Come in.
Yes.
And
Wait. Mother, first. We have a lot of people out here who are injured. Some could use some help. Safe area was.
The
she looks around and notices you. You don't seem that bad, Harold. And she's like, well, I don't know. And she looks back. There's like a couple people that have walked. And then she, like, you can see she looks kind of beyond and sees, like, the group of people. Oh,
Yes.
bring them in, quickly. I will.
and as they're walking in, Harold just kind of immediately looks to the woman and just goes, the insects, the blood-sucking ones, the sturges. Do you know of any remedies for their bite? We have a lot of people who are, well, you know, under wards that were bitten. They're sick.
Oh, we will see what we can do.
Wait, there's an
I don't
illness?
I don't know what our supplies are right now, but
Well,
we will do the best we can. But please, come in. We must get them in. Eddie, you take them in. I will get your father. Okay.
there's no
Yes, ma'am.
illness, but they're probably not well.
Very good. Yes.
So out of
And
character.
with that, she's kind of like she's giving you like the head nod and smile while she's like walking away from you. At this point, having given the order for Eddie to bring these people in, so you hear her. She skulls up the stairs. You can also hear like on the way she's like boom, boom, boom on a couple of doors that like it like echoes through the house because there's like nobody else here except for people that are coming in. Eddie,
Come in.
Eddie's home. He's back. Come see your brother.
Like slap my hand on my forehead. It's like,
From what I know of, there's nobody who's like crucially injured outside of just bites. A bunch of small puncture wounds, but like
Correct, but it's also been a stressful night. Some people were
Yeah.
already injured, and they're not the most I don't want to say not the most hardy of folk, but like
Not
I've said
sick.
before, many of them are the young and the old. So,
Mhm.
simply put, they're just not quite as durable as everybody else.
but probably no wounds worth treating, like surgically.
are you a surgeon?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing to that degree, unless further
figured.
inspection requires an amputation or something like that. But at this point, we're not sure about any of that. So, but you're bringing people in, Edmund. You're kind of clearing out this large foyer, where it comes in and essentially just setting up a small station, and you can see a few minutes later as people begin trickling down into the foyer. They all seem to have similar features, very, very fair, but upon closer inspection, now that they're not like in like long flowing night attire, you can see like rough hands and you see some scarring. Certainly hardy people of the swamp. But one gentleman in particular comes up and he just claps Edmund on the shoulder. And, it's been a while.
That it has. Sure you wanted me to come back under better circumstances?
As long as you come back, boy. And with that, he just goes in for a big hug and kind of
Okay.
like the awkwardly like too long and.
Mhm.
I see
We've
you
all been
finally-
hugged by our father.
We finally finally changed your mind.
No, I'm not here to stay, but these people need help, and home is where the help is. I say kind of awkwardly. I don't like.
You see, there's a brief second where he's like, "Very well, all right, yeah, bring him in." And he kind of like looks at you, like just very sternly for a second. At least spend time with your brother and sister, and your mother. My gods, how many years have you been away at this point?
At this point,
This is him saying to you, like he's saying almost as if like, it's been a while. Yeah.
I don't know, 20 years maybe.
She still talks about you every day.
An elf year is not that long, but
Yeah.
20 some odd years maybe. Yeah. Yes, I'll make sure to do so. But I need to take care of these people first.
Right. And he kind of like waves you off, and he kind of like, you could tell. Obviously, he's your dad. You could tell he's pretty pissed. And you see a couple of. You see one female. Again, these are all elves. She comes up next to Edmund and she just kind of like ruffles his hair. She's like an inch taller than him. And hello, little brother.
I do not like my hair ruffled. You know this. I worked on this.
20
Yes, I
years.
try to-
20 years, and you never come to say hi to me. What is this?
Yes. Come, hug your brother.
Aha! And she goes in, and so how was business? Yeah, in the big city.
Oh, it's perfect.
have a big stall and
Go ahead and make a deception check with advantage.
so yeah, it's great. Meanwhile, he like sleeps in the back of his shop.
Yeah, and she's like wide and says, "Oh, I've talked to Mama and Papa, and they will not let me go. I asked them. Still,
Yeah, no, he's not.
Once in a
He's not.
while, I no, they
Lion's
won't let
not
me
his
go.
name.
They don't let me come visit my own brother. What is this, eh? No, this cannot be. Well, but you are here, right? Something.
Yes, I'm back for a while, a little bit. Get to see my family, my big sister. Taught me everything that I know.
Yes, and your little
see.
brother too.
And you see, Edmund is kind of like, as most of the party, he was mostly kind of short and nonchalant, like hated being there, but being around his siblings, he's smiling a little more. He's a little more bubbly. Actually looks kind of genuinely happy, like maybe he doesn't hate this place as much as he lets on. As he smiles at his little brother.
She leans in. So, who are your friends here?
This here is point to, what is Makosa? Dragonborn, right?
Human?
Oh, we don't have any. Do we have the Dragonborn?
Yeah.
No.
We did, and then he died.
Oh, that was the. Gotcha, that was the Dragonborn. We have here an acquaintance Makoso right there. That's Harold. That is Felix, the little one.
I tip my hat down.
I've saved their life multiple times, guided them through the swamp.
Oh, he's
The
so
usual.
cute. And she very demeaningly goes down, pets you on the head, Felix, and she I don't know if you let her do this, but she attempts to pick you up like a baby. Not even under the armpits, going in for the cradle.
I slap her hands as she's coming in.
Ooh, he's a feisty one.
Yes,
Who's-
sister, he's little, but he's a grown man. Please.
Oh, but wait, he's not a baby? I thought he was a baby. Okay.
No.
Okay.
The little
I'm
Larisses,
sorry.
they're small, but yeah, he's a grown man. That's embarrassing. Come on.
Okay, I am very sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Harold just kind of looks at them and it's just like, yes, there are a handful of humanoids out there of smaller varieties. I don't quite know what you are, but
This is Harold. I give her a look and not he's a little not out there. As I just kind of side eye. This is Harold. Just yeah.
Hello,
Hold on.
Harold. Nice to meet you. I am Selena. Selena Cianodet. Nice to meet you. And
I
with
just
that,
kind of look at Edmund.
she gives you kind of goes in for the handshake, and then while you're looking at him, kind of kisses your hand.
Okay. And Harold just kind of takes the gesture nicely and kind of looks back and forth between Edmund and her and just kind of goes, so this is your family, right?
Some of them.
Well, perhaps be
Interesting.
more of your family, Edmund. If you would come and visit your cousins, huh?
Spits on the floor.
What is this? You show disrespect to your own cousins, huh? What about Geldwin? Angwil
Let's
still
beg us.
talks about the time when you were two boys just going in the fucking forest and remember that time you pissed Dad off? You're chasing after that big croc, the one we'd been hunting for weeks, and at that your younger brother comes in and's like, enough of that, Selena, let him be. And with that he goes and he gives you a smile and a pat on the shoulder. It's nice to see you, brother. Let's help your friends.
Yes. I'm gonna make just a bunch of cups of good berry tea.
Okay.
my signature tea.
While he's doing that, I'm going to look to the woman who was just talking to us that I didn't catch the name of because
Selena?
something like
Yes.
that. And I just kind of look to her and just go, I don't mean to be all business, but we have many people here that were bitten by some of the insects in the swamp. Do you know of any treatment? I'm a doctor, but not from these parts.
Ah, doctor. Yes. I don't know what we have on hand, but we will get you something. Leave it with us. You are safe here. No need to worry. And she kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder, and for now, you rest. We will watch over. We'll see what we can do. My brother is making his specialty. Is are you from the big city? Are you from Mud? You know my brother? He has a
Have I been to Mod? Do you think I have?
That is the big city of the region. That is up to you if you think you've been
Probably.
there or not.
I've probably been there. So he just kind of looks and is like, I have been, although I'm from a place you've probably never heard of. Continent far to the north.
Probably not. But anyway, my brother, he has a business there. He's doing quite well, he says. Anyway, what do you do there, Edmund? Now you're still doing the coffee and the special tea and bringing all the kind gestures of the swamp to the city folk.
Was he talking to me?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Well, of course. That is how I was raised, yes. The customer service. Customer service. I don't know. Yes. Yes, I've been doing good. But my shop is a bit more modernized. I can't say that with an accent. Than I was in the swamp, so. But I bring a little bit of it there. The floral arrangements that we'd have, the smell, the animals sometimes, but.
Good, you hear that? He does us proud.
Although in the big city, the magic that we use out here is not necessarily allowed. Not doing quotation marks. Not on the same scale.
I have not been with these people long, but from what I understand, he's saved quite a few lives. So he has my respect.
Do what I can.
And with that, so there are some other pleasantries. After the initial kind of like bringing everybody in, doing what needs to be done to help begin restoring these people, like putting ointments on wounds, going out to gather more, things like that. Before you know it, it is morning. I will say just because of the location, everybody's going to go ahead and get a rest here, a long rest. And
Cool.
Nice.
When you wake up, Edmund, you are bombarded by about 20 or so aunts, uncles, cousins. It's like a convoy of them that show up at the door. You're kind of awoken because you're in this foyer. They actually lended your room to some of the people that weren't doing as hot. And you just awaken to this like doo doo doo. Well, I know he's here. Let me see my grandbaby.
Oh.
Oh, Eddie.
In here, grandmother. It's like I go find her actually.
And Yeah, you open the door and she's just. You can tell, like anybody that knows elves, like can tell, like this woman is ancient. Like she is like I can't even describe how ancient. I can't find the words to articulate how ancient this woman is. But she is just like Betty White hair, just like
Who doesn't?
long down. She's hunched over. She is worn with age. She's just barely holding herself up with the cane. She's kind of like shaking. The jowls are kind of ever so quaking as she speaks. You know how old people have kind of like those tremors. She has like somewhat of that going on. You can see there's like a younger gentleman, which just go ahead and make a to see if you recognize him.
Intelligence check.
Yeah, just go ahead and make an intelligence check.
I have.
I feel like language is breaking down during this session. Everybody's having trouble with words.
Mm-hmm.
12. I have
Okay, so
0.
yeah, you recognize it just barely because you like the face is kind of the same, even though like the body doesn't match at all. This is one of your cousin Alar, and he is like arm in arm with your grandmother, kind of help stabilizing her. Oh, Eddie, come here. Like, goes over and kind of like gives you a hug. Oh, you're not right, your poor grandmother.
I apologize. It's only been 30 years. It's
But
like
you
a
know, I've only got another
drop in the bucket for you.
Yes, but you know, I've only got another 50 or 70 left in me.
You said the same thing 200 years ago. Just,
Oh. Oh. Yes, perhaps I did, but well, let's see how it goes. We play it year by year.
of course.
So
course,
and
Grandma.
like montage, you like take her into the house as like the convoy of people just like berating you with like how have you been? Like some of them are, you can tell like there's like that side of the family that are like further out in the swamps, like behind back, and they're kind of like pissed off, like how dare you not talk to us for 20 years? Some people are just like it's been like no time barrier. It's just like a cacophony of happiness and awkwardness and festivities. Like people are actually like bringing in like foods to eat and stuff like that for like a feast. They pull in like literally a giant crocodile. It's kind of like roasting a pig, sort of. They're doing that, but with a crocodile. Oh yeah, this is like full fucking bayou feast.
Bayou, yeah.
Yeah,
Born on a bayou.
this is like
playing
the
in
bayou
background.
bar mitzvah.
Born on a bayou. Gotcha.
So
Mississippi Queen. All right, I'm done.
you have a luxurious day of feasting, which greatly improves the morale. You go over the stories, like what are you doing? You're going to Nusha. You describe everything that happened, and many of the faces like begin to grow sullen, and whispers begin to happen. Some of your family hearing that they had heard whispers of other villages that are now destroyed. Passing tales of, seeing these creatures and some not knowing if it was a bad omen, if it really happened. Your family is pretty out of touch with the rest of the world. So in those regards, it's mostly whispers. People begin coming upon their own conclusions, and you got like that one uncle that's adamant that he knows like what's going on, and like then another uncle joins in, and then it's just like everybody's in debate, like what is happening in the swamps right now. And,
Just like 8 different conspiracy
Yeah,
theories, and none of them are
absolutely.
even close to being right.
Absolutely, yeah. So you pass the day kind of essentially that happening.
One of them thinks the ones here are actually aliens and that they saw a spaceship.
I would like, I guess, to speak with my father about it, because I feel like if anybody would be knowledgeable about the situation, it might be him. Might be. So I'll pull him aside when I get a chance.
Well,
Hmm.
what do you want?
Would you happen to know anything additionally about these UNT? I do not recall when we were growing up ever running into the snake men.
Well, I can't say a whole lot. You know as much as I do.
Praise be to
We
God.
thought they were tales, but what we've heard, if you remember, apparently they were driven out of the swamp hundreds of years ago. If they were there at all, which now we know, considering the circumstances, different. But Nusha, those ruins by Nusha, they were said to have holed up there before they were driven out. They were practicing some sort of, I don't know, sacrifices or something to their god. These are all things that our grandmother, much before your granny, these are the tales that she told us as if they were yesterday. I wonder how much of it was truth now. Anyway, he said these
Was-
creatures were once human. Again, I don't know if that's true, but I've heard other various things. I've heard that they can be killed by the venom of a powerful spider. I've heard that if you drive a stake, 2 stakes through the heart, it will kill them. I've heard many such legends, but I don't know.
Drive a stake into any man thought it might kill him. But what about you all? Are you safe here?
Yes,
They haven't.
like that is a question. And you can see with that, like, he gets like that bit of accent, but like it's almost like instinctual, and then he cuts it back. We're
Fair
safe
enough.
here.
Of course you are. Of course you are. I'd never doubt you. I would like to say though, sorry for running off and not contacting you. I needed to be free.
Well, you're a man. You do what you want. Do what you want.
Yeesh, are my parents Jewish? Do whatever you want. Whatever.
You're not a boy anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. You have to stop by my shop one day.
He
I'm
nods.
making them an amazing good berry tea.
Suppose I'll have to.
Yes.
Ever think of changing your name back? Cyanidel?
I'm known by Alameda now.
It's a name.
That's how it works in the big. That's how it works in the big city.
Big city.
Change it. Yeah.
Bunch of crooks.
But yeah, that is true. But in here, I pat my heart. I'll always know my name.
Fair enough. So, and with that, he He's like going in and out, like talking to you, like it's like bringing out his accent, but he's like heavily trying to suppress it.
Mhm.
And you just know, like that's like one of his things is like, like everybody, like the whole family has like this accent, but he like tries to differentiate himself as kind of like the head of it by speaking differently, but he occasionally catch himself going back into it. But anyway,
Gotcha.
right. Okay. So, what's next?
Well, I will get these people back to Nusha. And from there, we would see if we can take care of this Yuan-Ti threat. Do not want it to get worse, and do want these people to one day make it back home. Hopefully.
Fair enough. When will you be ready to leave?
Maybe we should ask the group and see when they're ready to go.
And with this, he kind of looks at you seriously. Edmund, sooner rather than later is best. We're only safe as long as no one knows we're here.
Ooh. Yes, I understand.
And he kind of
We'll
gives
leave
you a
them.
nod. Oh, my boy. And he kind of like goes for like the handshake, and then but then like grabs into the hug. Be safe. Come
will.
visit more,
I will do that as well.
please, for my sake, your mother's sake, which is my sake. Please visit more.
Of course.
And then he kind of walks off down the hall.
Alright. Stand there for a second and gather my bearings. And then I'll head and find my party.
Harold is probably with the wounded.
Just let them know that we will have to get out of here soon, preferably tomorrow. Get everyone to Nusha and figure our plan out from there.
Okay.
In the meantime, while he was doing everything else, I was kind of getting a feel for whatever family members were around for they like questioning them about what kind of they knew, to see if there was anything I could pick up from them.
Okay, go ahead and do an investigation check.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much most of like what I said was like, like they had heard whispers and rumors, but they're pretty detached from the rest of the civilization here in the swamp.
Oh, I was thinking magic that they already knew, like because they're a bunch of druids, right?
This is true.
Correct.
Like stuff that they like already had for stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Not so much.
Sorry, for some reason I thought you said you were like asking for like information on like what's going on, like if they had any other intel. But so you're looking for like magic. I mean, they do have magic. They attempt to show you, like they're very friendly and they're like, I'm not gonna lie. After the word spread, many of them think you are like just the most interesting thing they've ever seen. Like they think that you are a man baby. Many of them are calling you man baby. Like they're like saying the name, and then they're getting like nasty glares from other ones, and then they're like trying to be respectful, and like calling you sir, but then like you just like you keep getting it over and over again, and
Yeah.
they
It's fun.
attempt to show man baby the ancient magics of the elves, though it is difficult to pick up due to your wizardry. And most of what they have is like a divine nature or a it's not an arcane sort
Yeah.
of magic. It's not that you learn again. It's not that you learn nothing. It's that you can't really manifest it. It's not the same. So you're kind of you're getting a grasp on like maybe the process of what they're doing, though you don't really know how to do it yourself. So whatever the spark is that allows them to do these things and call upon the energies in this fashion, it's just beyond you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You have the understanding, but you don't have any kind of catalyst for it. It's not in you.
Right.
Well, and the fact that everything would need to be written down and stuff for me. Well, it would be more studying rather than druids. They use what? Is theirs considered divine magic? Technically,
more like nature magic, I would think.
It's like
nature
a
magic,
similar.
But I thought it was like considered divine. I think.
Yeah, I think for casting purposes, it's considered divine, but it's not really from a divine being.
Yeah.
I don't think 5e has that distinction anymore.
Oh, doesn't it? Okay.
But yeah, so anyway.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, so you learn about it, but not necessarily how to cast.
Yeah.
But you learn about it.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'm alright. Makoso's a little just getting anxious being cooped up.
I'm probably, like I
in
said,
a treehouse.
I'm helping the family tend to the wounded. And also, one distinction to make out, fucking Harold, his skin color, he passed look like a fucking ghost with all of these people who are in the swamp and in the sun. So
What?
pale, hair so light.
Is this new?
No, I mean, but it's never been brought up before. So, like, he walks into a room and people are blinded by how white he is.
Yeah.
The whitest of white.
But you are all welcomed as Edmund's friend, White One, Man Baby, and such titles until they actually find out your name, and then even then, and there are many of them to underscore those traits about yourselves. So, yeah, anything anyone else is doing before Edmund does or does not decide to speak with you?
What are the people doing? Because Makoso's trying to keep an eye on them. Playing babysitter.
Which people? Your people?
There's a lot of people.
My people.
Okay.
The ones I'm supposed to be taking care of and make sure they don't die.
They are being treated to. Those that can stand, there's like very festive. There's like a lot of stories being told about like some of them are just legends. There's a lot of time spent talking about like the gossip of the swamp that like nobody from Edmund's family knows about, and any of the whispers they've heard. There's a lot of that, and most of the folk are participating that can. There's also, like I said, it's like a feast sort of. So, you know, there's just like a bunch of rooty, starchy vegetables. There are, you know, there's like a gator being cooked. There's all sorts of stuff right now going on in those regards.
Food. Yeah, Makoso is going to sample everything that he can't identify.
It is delicious. It is all delicious. You're like, what is this? The texture's horrible, but it like melts in your mouth. Some of it, you're just like, I no idea what this is. Like, I don't even want to know what this is, but it's good.
Chewy, salty gator bites. Yes.
But it is.
Makoso likes to eat things. Specifically game.
Okay. So, yeah. So, Edmund, so you have this conversation with your father. This is, we'll say, like a little bit later in the day. You've pretty much had the whole day to, like, catch up with family a little bit. Everybody's feasting, blah, blah, blah. And you have this discussion with your father.
Yep. Oh, I'll come down and gather the gents, except for Harold, if he's healing people if you help him.
I don't know how busy I'll be, but I'll probably be there.
Okay. Yeah, if you can pull away from the people, I'll pull away as well. And just let them know. So we will have to leave in the morning. Be on our way, get everybody to Nusha. Think we should get up early enough that the sun itself has not risen, but will rise soon, so that we can hopefully get there before dark. Hopefully.
We're spending another night.
What time of day is it?
It is like, it's later in the day. It's probably like 4 o'clock or so.
Yes, this will be the last night here. So, rest up, eat, be merry, enjoy my home. We rise at dawn. We plan. No, let's just.
I'm drinking tea out of probably a bottle that they gave me.
Nice.
Maybe.
Go ahead and make a
Relaxing.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh no, I don't like that.
But
Wait, what?
Oh, where's my mouse? Oh, there it is.
So you see one of the uncles uncorks a bottle and hands it to you. Hey, here, man, baby. Take some of this. This is good. This is good stuff. He kind of gives you the with the eyebrows, and you're like, all right. So you knock it back. 1 second goes by, 2 seconds go by, and you're like, hey, this isn't so bad. As you just like begin wobbling, and you all look over just in time for man baby to boom onto the floor. And you see your and Edmund, you see your uncle. This is man baby can't handle it. Oh well. Good luck next time.
at this, Harold kind of looks at the uncle and just goes, "Regional drink?
Hey.
Can I have some?"
Well,
Try to
be my
stop him,
guest.
but
Be my guest. Some for you too.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take the bottle and take a big swig.
Go ahead and make a
I'm safe.
Constitution save. All right.
Praise.
So,
Nice.
it burns going down, and but it's replaced by almost like a menthol kind of like you down it, and then there's like this cooling effect after, and you're like, oh, that's different, and like this stuff is pretty good stuff. Like even you're like, like. You gotta hold yourself against the wall a little bit because you weren't expecting it to be so potent, so you had a fuckload of it, and just your natural hardiness is what keeps you aloof. But 10-15 minutes goes by, and you see there's like a nod of respect from the uncle and some of the other family members.
Like
This one knows how
after
to handle it. Here we
After I
go.
take the first swig, I kind of taste it for a couple seconds, and I take another little sip and I give it back, and I'm just like, "That's good. You ought to try some Nordvinden mead sometime."
I don't know what a Nordvinden is, but it sounds delicious.
Continent, where I'm from, Nordvinden mead.
Oh. Well, bring some to me and I will test it for you.
I have a long way to travel, but I will try someday.
He nods.
all right, Uncle,
we have all
shoot.
We have all the time in the...
Shoot.
Oh, okay. I'll leave
Sure,
you be with
bye.
your friend.
We're talking business.
Take it,
yes,
hey,
okay.
hey, take care of men, baby, okay?
Nice.
Not doing so hot. And there's like some claps.
I'm always passed out.
Are there any children?
There's a couple children running around. Yeah, like smaller. They're just...
But at the mention of that, I do check on Felix.
yeah.
There are no children here younger than you, though.
Oh, okay.
Not young.
Yeah,
They're elf
Not
children.
younger than me.
They're just like scurrying around the house, like, oh, yeah, they're just like running through the mansion. You see, like there's like one, like you can't tell because there's so many faces here. It's like, is that like a midwife? Is that a mom? Is that like, what is this? And she's just like looking after. She's just like glaring at the kids. She's like, stop it! As they're just like running around the house frantically, just enjoying the sweet chaos of the night.
So no children have been born in the 20 years that Edmund's been out.
Yeah, there's a couple. The ones that were running around would either be.
Oh, I was asking because I thought Rick said no.
They would have either been born like Ed knew of them like as they were born, or would have been like just after he left.
So it's not like children. Wait, when do elves like hit mature?
About the same age as humans, actually.
So
Oh, later.
there's not kids running around. Okay,
Comparatively.
fair enough. So there's like young adults running around.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Solid.
But by elf nature, you're not socially an adult until your 100th birthday. So it's like
Weird.
they could be 80 and they're still kids.
All right, so Edmund, you pull your friends aside.
Physically mature, like mentally mature. Yeah, they mentally at 100.
Well, yeah, but also it's mostly
So they're full grown people running around.
Yup.
They're just fucked up. They're just
Because-
fucked up.
Because
They
have,
took a
like,
drink from Grandpa's flask.
just running around. What did you ask?
I was just saying, like, you're in the clear. Like, people leave you alone to be with your friends to discuss what's going on.
Yeah,
I probably pick Felix up by like the neck and bring him over to where
The scruff of my neck.
where
It's like a cat, just a pass out cat. So yes, we will have to leave in the AM. People know to be ready. Eat, be full, get some rest. Because we will all have to go, even the sick. So
Harold just kind of moves one of the bits of his mail and looks down underneath his chest armor and just goes, I've seen 39 winters. Not about to be done in by a bug.
of course. I mean, no, you're fine. That's fine. You're fine. So that is all.
Yes, we can leave. I mean, as far as we can tell, most of the people are stable.
Right? Are most of the people stable? Like, would everybody
Yes.
be able to travel?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll leave in the morning.
I mean, probably physically a little worse than when you left Oeb, but I don't want to say morally. What is morale wise? I guess I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, they are a lot more cheerful, hopeful, empowered in that fashion.
Gotcha.
The old guy that died, does he seem like he was important to anybody, or did he just kind of move on?
It seems
just-
as though people accepted it as a fact of what happens when you travel in the swamp.
Yeah.
You had your little service. There was everybody's time to kind of grieve over it, but you quickly were pushing on. There wasn't really much of a grieving time, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, unless anybody else has anything they wanted to do before the night's up.
Like, Harold basically is spending the rest of the day just more intensely, just making sure that everybody is ready to travel, getting people in the best condition he possibly can.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay. So,
Just pay
Do so.
extra attention.
You have the night goes by uneventfully. I mean, no monsters anyway, and I will say you all just barely managed to get a long rest. Felix is helped in that regard. He gets a really good rest, and you all wake up bright and early in the morning. Felix, your head is pounding. You wake up kind of like in a cold sweat, and as you all arise, there is not a fucking soul in that house. Everyone is gone. You are greeted by Edmund's family as you awake. Kind of like with breakfast and tea made. Like, you guys woke up pretty early, but they woke up way earlier than you, apparently. Either that or never slept. One of the two.
Harold definitely takes like the strongest tea he can find and gives it to Felix. Just whatever has the most properties.
Okay, you do so. Felix, the smell of this tea creates an undulating and gurgling from your stomach that is almost unbearable.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're
Keep
pretty
puking?
like close, like not quite there, but you're like a little like at the smell of this tea. But you brought like some hard bread and some other not so flavorful foods and beverages from the hosts of the house.
Harold just kind of sits next to Felix, trying to, pester him into drinking the tea, and just goes, "It'll help with your head. Might make you feel better. I have no idea if it actually will. I kind of just grabbed something and gave it to him, but I hope it does."
I guess I take it from him, like, thanks a lot, and then take whatever it is.
So just because of the fat, like, go ahead and do a
Medicine check for me.
no, go ahead and do
okay.
a fuck, because you just grabbed like the most powerful tea, essentially.
Another con save.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yay.
Go ahead and do a. Fuck. I want to see if you recognize it, because you kind of blacked out real quick. So like, do you remember? So I'll just do another intelligence check. Just do like a raw intelligence check. No, I mean it smells
It's the
strong
same
and
thing.
herbal. Now go ahead and make a
Wait.
Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh God.
Drops again.
Oh, way
Okay.
better.
Praise.
As you begin to you get like a few sips in, and you have like a flashback. This is absolutely what you had last night, and you begin to like your stomach begins to fucking just retch, and you're like, as you see the sister just shaking her head, just like,
Hair of the dog.
I told you to eat the bread.
I imagine he sets it down, and then Harold
Your
just
own
goes,
fault.
"Hmm,
And you,
that's odd."
healer.
And I pick up the glass and I drink some because I'm wondering what I just gave him.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. Though you know what it is because you didn't black out.
Damn it.
As
my
you
God.
black out. All right, so you're like, what is it? And you just knock it back, and you see just a weird smile come over Harold's face, and he like goes to lean back in his chair. He leans. He just keeps leaning all the way back until poof, on his back. He's just out cold. Oh man. Go ahead and roll. Oh my god. Go ahead and roll 1d6, Harold. Okay.
God damn it.
Harold wakes up 4 hours later.
I don't know if you guys like picked me up and put me on a.
We're putting you in a
cart.
cart.
All right. I'm wearing chainmail armor and I weigh like 120 pounds, so it's gonna be rough.
Nope, that's
Oh.
fine.
Nope, I weigh 260 pounds.
There you go.
So,
So, yeah, you say your pleasantries, Edmund. There's like a really long embrace with your mom, and she's like, "Are you sure you must go, Eddie? You cannot stay a few more days, a week, maybe?"
No, must get this safety. But I will be back.
She
It will
nods.
not
And
be
she
20
like puts her
years.
forehead to yours, and my boy. Okay. And you have like the exchange like with your parents, and your dad just gives you like a solemn kind of like a nod, like just an acknowledging nod.
Be safe, okay?
We will.
I'm gonna
And,
use the bathroom, guys. I'll be back in a second. I'm sorry.
okay. So
Have
and
fun.
with that, as the door closes, you see some vines begin to actually curl up around the edges of the door to make it look that much more dilapidated. And with that, you turn your back on the house of Cianodel. Begin to make your way to Nusha.
Yay.
Edmund, how many years has your family lived here?
Let's. They've lived here since. You saw my grandmother, right?
I did.
She was about my age when we took this land.
And all this time. That's all.
All this time.
Makosa's a nomad.
Oh, gotcha.
It's weird.
Gotcha.
All right. So, Edmund taking the lead of where you're going. But I think we left off with Makosa. So, Felix and then Harold do the d6 rolls and begin.
Yes, it
moving-
won't be my fault.
Begin moving the piece. As the solid land falls away from your feet, back into the familiar but just as uncomfortable squelching of the muck beneath your boots. Felix, go ahead and roll a d6. The
Alright.
the glade.
I think we might be turning around.
of the Cianodel begins
Move
to
it.
drift further and further behind you. Go ahead and move it. I'll say Edmund because you're guiding them. You bring it in whatever direction you see fit.
Okay, I'll drop it there.
Okay, so
Felix, you need new portents?
Yeah, you should
okay,
roll.
so
No, I hold on to those
About-
ones until I use them up.
okay, so you can go ahead and Harold is
I
next.
think I use them up.
Harold, are you here yet?
He's peeing.
Still peeing, still using the bathroom. Okay, we're just gonna
Like a
skip
racehorse.
him. Yeah, skip him and go to Edmund. So about I don't know it's about midday. You guys had a bit of a late start because of everything in the morning, even though you try to get up early, and you just hear and then
Back.
as the rain begins to hit the canopy. It's beginning to seep down. It hasn't quite drenched you yet, just because of the heavy canopy and all the water wicking that's taking place. But you're sure it won't be terribly long before you are all very uncomfortable. Even more so.
The rain's a pleasant change.
It is.
Live in a desert.
It is. Very, very pleasant change in the desert. So go ahead and roll your d6. Just because Harold's back, go ahead and roll your d6, Harold. Edmund, move the piece.
Harold.
Harold, d6, buddy.
Harold. While we're waiting, I'm gonna roll my portents because I was just reading it and I didn't know they went away after the day was done.
Yep, they do. All right. Screw you, Harold. Edmund, make a d6.
Ooh, those are.
Okay. Didn't he go to the bathroom?
He came
Yeah,
back.
Yeah,
thought
he
he-
came back.
Gotta hurt him.
Oh,
He just hates D6s.
He just hates
I
d6s.
do too.
He didn't want that responsibility.
So
I
Edmund,
hate
go ahead.
D12s, but
D6.
Go ahead,
Wow.
go ahead right now. Okay, so, yeah, no issues. The rain's beginning to get worse and worse. It's, here what rains you get is generally like almost like a flash, like, it's not a long
Oh, no.
thing, it's like a flash flood almost. It begins to get terrible, worse and worse. I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. As it is cold, it is nasty, you're just drenched. A failure results in a point of exhaustion. As you're just like very unhappily trudging through this already difficult swamp as the weather is just grating at what little bit of life is left in you.
what's the
Oh,
DC on it? Because I got a 14.
Yes,
Sim.
DC is 13.
Yay, I'm not exhausted. I enjoy the rain.
Remember though, your portent is 9 and 5. So it's not the ones you just.
Yeah, I know. I accidentally clicked that. I was trying to toggle to lower the description and stuff, but it popped in there instead.
Okay.
I have them written down.
So Felix and Edmund get a point of exhaustion. Makoso succeeds. I will roll for Dude Guy McGee here.
Is that his name now?
Dude Guy McGee, yeah. All right. Constitution.
Dayman. Hey.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, no problem. He's like, no way, man. I'm used to. He says something like really cheesy, like, "I'm used to harsh winters" or something like that.
Up in Nordvinden.
39 winters haven't killed me yet.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Love
I
it.
hope. Oh,
All
he's
right.
not in Discord. He
Something
can't hear
real,
this.
something real edgy and corny is what he says as he toughs it out. Yeah. So go ahead and you have one more moat of travel here. So go ahead. It's the next one goes to Makoso. D6, buddy.
Oh no, I don't wanna.
And Edmund, go ahead and
It's all you.
move your thing one. Okay.
Yay.
Fortunately,
I think.
you make it through the swamps.
Take
You
out
already-
one more before we reach the town.
Already.
I hadn't moved yet.
So 1, 2. Yeah, you guys have done 3. You moved from your hut. 1,
Yay.
3.
Yeah.
So
We
you
made it.
guys can go ahead and it is now like nighttime. You can push ahead, risking some exhaustion. You could try and get to Nusha, risking exhaustion.
How do the people look? The peasants.
Due
We just
to-
had like a pretty good
Yeah,
rest.
I was
so-
gonna say, due to the rest and the high spirits of what went down with the Cyanidels. People are still in high spirits. Are like because of the weather, kind of wearing that away, and just the it's difficult traveling through the swamps. It is just eroding what little bit of peace these people have had. They're not on like death's door. Like they're gonna go with the flow, whatever you think is best, because they want the safety of Nusha. They don't like the swamp, like the weather and dealing with all of this. So, but yeah, they're gonna go with whatever you. They're gonna defer to your better judgment.
Edmund, can we push through the night?
We are pretty close. If the people would like to, I can get them there through the night. Or
I think it'll be better than risking being stuck with those mosquitoes again, the sturge.
Mikoso tries to rally the group to keep pushing.
Okay, Felix, go ahead and
We've
roll a
lost
d6.
one.
Ooh, it's all on me.
Oh,
Okay, boom, baby. All right.
we're out of the swamp.
So you don't have to roll to get back into town.
Ooh.
Going from the road to Nusha. But
sweet.
you will, however, have to make a Constitution saving throw. One more.
Because these have been so great.
For what now? What do we save?
That is
Con save.
because you guys pushed on to risk exhaustion. So Makoso,
Ouch.
you
I'm sleepy.
yeah. Hold on.
Harold?
I'm controlling Harold. Okay, that is a pass. It's just a DC 10.
Oh, nice. I just missed.
Okay, so it's been a rough couple of days. You all trudge into Nusha, just beaten down by the rain. It is still actually the downpour has gone away. There's like a light drizzle that's you can tell will probably ease up in the next hour or so. So that there's something there. It was a good rain. But as you're all kind of patting yourselves on the back, coming into I would say the town or perhaps even city of Nusha, it's fairly large. You see what looks to be total devastation. Buildings just collapsed. Smolderings that are being quenched or have been quenched. Yeah, because it's just raining. So, but there's still like the steam of like what was once flames. There do not appear to be any people in Nusha. And as you look around the group wide-eyed, you hear some shifting from behind some of the buildings. And with that, you look over to see a couple of snake-like figures that are just picking through the rubble, through the debris of this city before they snap to attention and begin to draw their weapons. And that's where we're going to pick up next week.
Fucking snakes! Kill them all!
All right, we got to go find this father figure and murder it.
Good luck. All
I don't know
the
about
women
that.
of the world will appreciate it.
Well,
All right.
These jerks, I hate them.
All right.
They're so
See y'all.
close.